You're listening to the PT Profit Podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with Coach Kim, and we're discussing how we took her fat loss coaching business online. Are you ready? Let's get started. What's up, Coach? Thank you so much for joining me in another episode of the PT Profit Podcast. I'm your host, Beverly Simpson, and today we have a very special guest, Coach Kim. Kim is a weight loss coach who helps women in their 50s and beyond lose weight without restrictive dieting. She's had incredible success helping her clients shed pounds and keep them off by focusing on mindset and lifestyle changes rather than just calorie counting. On today's episode, she shares her unique approach to fitness for this demographic and how she was able to lose 30 pounds herself and keep it off for over 4 years. If you're a woman over 50 who's tired of the diet roller coaster, you won't want to miss this. Kim is another one of our Accelerator clients, and she shares today her favorite takeaways from the program and why she loves it. So if you're curious about how this process could work for you, schedule your free profit plan and we'll show you. Without further ado, let's roll that interview. What's up, Kim? Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm really excited to have you and to really just share your journey and your expertise here on the show. So it's going to be a good, fun time, and I can't wait to dive in. So for those of you who have not had the pleasure of being exposed to Kim's work, can you share with us just a little bit about who you are, who you serve, and how you got there?
I am Kim Siberski. I serve women 50 plus who want to lose weight, but they're tired of dieting. They're super confused about all the different information out there on what they can do. I actually found my own coach several years ago, lost 30 pounds, and I kept it off for the first time in my life. And that is why I decided to get certified and do that for other women.
That's really powerful. And what I love about your work specifically, so Kim has been an Accelerator client of mine for a minute. And what I have loved about her work that is so inspiring is that I feel like, especially in the fitness industry, that there is a demographic of people that are over 50 that are oftentimes underserved. And what happens to so many is that we're just inundated with a young style fitness, 20s, grinding, moms or, busy moms. And it's just it's just a lot of dense material in that demographic. And it can be easy to forget that there are people that still want to live healthy, happy lives, not at the perimenopause stage, but after menopause. And it can be easy to brush it to the side like, oh, well, and I know a lot of people that feel like, oh, well, it's, my time's over. I don't need to get healthy anymore. It doesn't matter, and so on and so forth. So I just think it's a really inspiring experience and an underserved demographic. So it always inspires me to get the pleasure of working with people who, like you, who feel like who do something new, different, and really set themselves up to serve an underserved population. So that's really inspiring. So I'm curious, you said that you had lost 30 pounds yourself in your own journey. Like what happened? I know that you have said that and I've listened to your messaging about, people have dieted forever since, for the last 40 years. You had that post that was about like the best relationship you've ever had is the one with your diet. So I'd love for you to share with us a little bit more about, your journey. What happened? What was the process that you went through that that inspired you to help women over 50?
Well, I mean, even in high school, when I look at my pictures now, I was so thin, but all my friends wanted to lose. I did okay until I had kids, of course, like so many women. And then I had 10, 20 pounds to lose. So I'd go on a diet, lose the weight, and, quit because life got in the way, and then gain the weight back plus more. So when I turned 49, I said, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life by the time I turned 50. Hired a trainer, spent hours in the gym, all while raising 3 kids alone and teaching special education. Lost 33 pounds. Went out and had to buy a whole new wardrobe. And the entire time I thought, how am I going to keep this off? How am I going to keep up with all this food prep and all the workouts? And I moved, got remarried, and paid it all back, plus a bunch more. I retired from teaching, quickly put on another 10 pounds, went back to Weight Watchers because that's what we do. And so many people can relate to this. I waited at home, of course, before I went to the meeting at noon, had an eaten, weighed in, and she's like, your weight is whatever. And I said, wait, I was less than that at home. And she said, why would you weigh before you came here? Doesn't everybody do that? I never went back. I never went back to that meeting. I'm like, there's a missing piece. Why can't I keep the weight off? And I found my own coach who literally said, stop dieting. And when I stopped dieting and I figured out what worked for me personally and what I could stick to, that's when I was able to not only lose the weight, but keep it off. Yeah, I basically start my day by thinking, okay, what do I have on track today? What's going on? And what is my personal bandwidth today? Today I have several meetings. I know I have to travel somewhere for about an hour and I'll probably grab something quick. Could be a protein shake. Tomorrow I might have the time to, prep a big salad. So it's looking at what each day is going to look like and what do I have in the tank to offer myself today. And I wait until I'm hungry. That is the biggest key. I wait until I'm hungry. I eat until I'm satisfied, not full. I focus on protein and fiber. And that's pretty much it. Very simple. It's not really easy, of course. Emotions and stress coming, and that leads us to the pantry.
Yeah, it's so true. So now I'm curious, right? So a lot of coaches, they'll hear that and they'll be like, "Oh, Beverly, that's like mine too. I know that I know that that's the process that I do for myself and I carry my clients through that. But then sometimes it can be so hard to get their clients to adhere to the same simple process, right? So I'm curious for you, especially as you were going through the process of unlearning all of the diet culture that, you said Weight Watchers, and it always surprised me that Weight Watchers would have a lifetime, you could have a lifetime pass to Weight Watchers. And I was like, you're not supposed to be on a fat loss journey forever. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So I'm curious for you, what were some of the things that your coach and that you help clients do as well to unlearn some of the dieting programming that we've been inundated with?
The biggest piece, honestly, had nothing to do with what I'm eating. It was all about how I think about myself. Because I had a really not great, self-esteem. Of course, we all have baggage, and I was letting so much of that get in my way. And I didn't even know it, really. And of course, putting everyone else before myself, because that's what women often do. And when I really started working on how I talk to myself, what I say to myself when I look in the mirror, that is where the biggest shifts came from. And it didn't happen overnight. It's still a work in progress, but that's probably the biggest piece.
Yeah, and I'm sure that must be hard to get on board with when you're like, I just need another diet because I know that I can lose 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm. I've heard too many women get to goal weight, and if you still don't like who you are, you're going to gain the weight back. And even when we think about diets, diets are something we go on and we go off of. I want women to build a lifestyle that works for them. Some women have 10 minutes to lose weight each day. Some have an hour. And so I help them figure out how do I fit this to them.
Yeah, a lot of other programs are so cookie cutter and can be cookie cutter that are like, you need to have an hour and a half or 2 hours. And you've got women that are like, no, I'm still in the prime of my career and I have time that I don't have the time. Or they're carting their kids around.
Yeah. And that's another big piece is changing your mindset where you think you have to be in the gym for, 60 minutes every day. Of course, right away, you're like, I don't have 60 minutes. Do you have 5 minutes that you can walk in the morning? Do you have, 30 seconds where you can do 10 squats during the day? Can you walk in place while you're shooting for weight? Like, where can I sprinkle in weight loss in those little moments?
Yeah, so true. So now, how long have you been maintaining your health in terms of like, you said you had lost 30 pounds, you've kept it off. How long have you been in that maintenance phase?
I have kept it off for over 4 years. And now I'm really shifting my focus more to fat loss and, keeping my bone density where it needs to be. I had a scan and it's very eye-opening if you can get one. And so that's really where my personal journey is going.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so, what were some of the, biggest reasons that, had brought you to the Accelerator container?
Well, I just think it's so important for women to really change how they think about themselves and to realize it is still possible to get healthier and lose weight no matter how old you are, because that is really a big thing that can stand in the way. But I had joined 3 other programs, spent a lot of money, a lot of time spinning my wheels. The programs were very, very good, but it was kind of like, you pick what direction you want to go in, and then you go over here, but you could go over there. It wasn't very clear on the path. What should I do first? Then what should I do next? And so they're good programs, but you also didn't have access to the person who developed the program. Once in a very great while, they would comment on one of your posts. So I knew I was just at that stage of, I've been trying to do this for 3 years. It's kind of like a diet. Just tell me what to eat. I was in that, just tell me what to do. Step by step, hold my hand. And that's why I joined.
That's amazing. It's interesting. Me too. I just want to say that me too. I have been in hundreds, what feels like hundreds of different programs, and they've all been great. Like I don't necessarily, and I don't have any like that they were awful, that I didn't learn any information. But one of the things that I had noticed in taking like some of these really high level mentorships, which I love, is that there just wasn't, everyone's telling you what to do and they're not really showing you but they weren't showing you where the gap was, right? Where I would feel like, hey, I did everything you told me to do. Like I posted, I did the webinar, I did the freebie or whatever it is that you're learning in their process. And then there was no insight into why it didn't work. So I would oftentimes throw the baby out with the bathwater, like, oh, well, the webinars don't work, throw that out, right? Which is why I think coaching is so important, because there needs to be an implementation component, because I know that it's not going to be perfect 100% of the time. I know that I'm not going to turn my computer into an ATM, but it's important that I know, where my area of opportunity is to learn, to take that next step, which is why I really wanted to bake that into the Accelerator container, because I know so many people struggle with that, and that no one's giving them insight as to like, hey, what could we change? What could we do? What can we test next? Because it's all about guessing, testing, and assessing, right? So what would you
Mhm.
say has been some of your biggest takeaways?
Well, the thing that has helped me the most is being able to get that feedback from you and to know, like, this is what you're not doing, this is what you could change. Because that was the thing. I'd start over, I'd stop, like, it's not working, but what do I do now? And that's what I was getting stuck constantly. And there was always that doubt that no matter what I do, it's not going to work. And so the clarity in your program has been just so helpful because I know what to do. I give you something and you tell me this part's great, fix this. And this is why we're fixing it. This is why it might not be working.
That's hard. And I'm like drinking from a fire hose. Sometimes I'm like, and nothing. But honestly, it comes from a place of like just wanting to help, especially since I know that the impact that you will and do have on your women is so profound. And it's like when you can come from that place of like, I know that I can help people if they just see it. Especially now in
Yes.
our especially now in our market. I mean, haven't you felt a shift into like with all the GLP-1, conversation? I feel like we're going back to the 90s when it was like heroin chic.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally had someone come to me and say, don't I just have to take the shot and then I don't even have to try? I'll just lose weight. I'm like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Doesn't work that way. And that's the thing. Even if you have surgery or you are on a GLP-1, if you don't change how you think about yourself, you still won't keep the weight off.
I mean, it's so true. It's so true. So now, when you are, what are some of the things that you have been testing? Like, let's speak to your messaging for a second, like, especially in a GLP-1 world. Like, what would you say are some of the most challenging things that you're finding with your messaging in terms of, shifting perspective around industry standards?
Um, I think a lot of women blame menopause or our age. And so that is always a big one to overcome. And honestly, right now, all my clients are post-menopause and they're all losing weight. So it's like, I love showing women that it's possible. And, menopause is being talked about a lot more, which is fantastic. But it's like getting to all that underlying stuff. Like what specifically works for me?
Yeah, so true. So Kim, I'm also curious, do you have any pushback with your clients about, the technical components of being online? Like, do you feel like you have people that are not tech savvy or feel like, oh, I can't get on tech? Like, do you have any, tech concerns with your clients?
I've had a couple people struggle, and I even had one person say, I don't really love Zoom. And I'm like, well, you know, try it and let's see what happens. But the great thing is, I keep my client number low enough that I can literally go in, record a video, and walk them through it. I'm not going to just leave them hanging if they're struggling. I help them step by step until we figure it out.
Yes, me too.
It's you.
So true, so true. The reason I was asking is because, I wonder if people sometimes they say, yeah, but my clients aren't going to get online because they don't feel techy or they don't think that they can do it because of tech or, so I'm curious, what are some of the things that you've done to help your clients get on board with the technical component?
Well, I'm finding that most women do know how to get on a Zoom call. And again, it's really showing them, ahead of time, okay, this is how simple it really can be. Like you don't have to know a lot. You just have to be able to get on it, honestly. Some of my women reach out to me via like Boxer or the Marco Polo app and record a video. But that's not mandatory. They don't have to do that. And so whatever tech it is, I'll help them.
Got it. So it's not, doesn't have to be hard tech.
Mm-hmm. If I can do it, I know they can.
Yeah. Did you feel like you had a technical learning curve, or were you like, nah, I got this. This is easy?
Oh gosh, huge. I actually hired an assistant who's in their 30s who does a lot of the behind the scenes tech that I don't want to spend my time doing that. I want to spend my time helping women who need help.
Yeah, so good. So when you were overcoming some of your technical like stresses of like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this, and then you even got help, like what are some of the things and tools that you use to help you, get through that sticky, icky, like, oh, I don't want to be cringe on the internet. Oh, I don't want to post and people are going to hate me. Like, what I love about your content specifically is that you are not afraid to just get on there and talk. Like, you are doing a talking head video every single day. And that can be very challenging. So that in itself is a win. So I'm curious, what's some of the mental chatter that goes on in your brain when you're posting like that? And how do you calm it down?
Well, a lot of the work I've done around weight loss and my self-esteem has helped a ton. And I was in a program, and one of the requirements was you got to do your first, reel on Instagram. And I spent, I don't know how many days, turn in my homework and to say, who cares? And do it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Somebody doesn't like it? Okay. And the chatter, yeah, you're going to look stupid. Oh my God, what are people going to think? But, you get to a point where you don't care.
Yes, it's true. But you bring up something I think is so important that I think I've seen a lot of coaches will miss this, is that a lot of the tools in your toolbox that you help clients with are tools you can use when you're building your own business. Because I think it was Tony Robbins who said that 80% of it is mental and 20% of it is strategy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Coaches miss that sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's the bigger piece. I think because what I've learned in weight loss and working on how I think has helped in every area of my life, relationships, business, you name it.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, same, me too. Okay, me too. Okay, so, with that said, I want to be mindful of your time, and I want to be respectful. So what if someone wanted to work with you, connect with you, what are some of the best places that I can send them?
Okay. My email is hello@kimsiberski.com. My website is kimsiberski.com. And I'm going to have Beverly help me do a read on the website. And I am still have some spots available in my program that I'm running, my branding program that I'm running founding members through, and I'm offering those people a special price.
Oh, I love that. Okay, great. So we'll make sure that we link all of that up in the show notes.
Thank you so much.